Hello, everyone. We are on a special night tonight. It is our migraine strategy call. We are coming to you on Tuesday, a special evening because we have two special guests joining us tonight. I am so excited that Cathryn and Kevin are joining us today. Cathryn is a graduate of the Freedom from Migraine method, and she has very kindly brought her husband along so that they can both share their journey through migraine freedom, through Cathryn's migraine freedom. So thanks for being here tonight, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So let me just tell everybody a little bit about you, Cathryn, before we get started, or about both of you, I should say. So Cathryn and Kevin have been married for 35 years. In July, they celebrated their 35th wedding anniversary by taking a cruise to Alaska, which we were so excited about that you were able to do that pain-free. You have two grown children. Your oldest daughter is a nurse practitioner and your youngest daughter works at Disney. I mean, how exciting is that? And we were just chatting before we jumped on about all of your Disney excursions. You go to Disney quite often and you love enjoying travel as well. And it's so great that now you're able to do that pain-free and actually enjoy it. So thanks again for being here and taking the time. I believe you're on vacation now, right? So you're taking the time on vacation to chat with us.
Always on vacation. Why not?
I love it. I love it. So let's start with telling everybody a little bit about your journey, your migraine journey. So when did your migraine start and what did you try to do to end those?
Well, my journey kind of started in 2015. I worked as a special ed teacher and I was head-butted, and I don't know if you know what head-butted mean, was with a student and hit me in the side of the head right here. And I had a concussion, totally wiped out, had to be in the hospital, and started having some, headaches after that. Went through where I never had a bleed or anything. So there was never anything that they needed to do as far as that, but started having headaches and had to go through physical therapy and things like that to work on. I actually had to learn how to do as far as even walking for a while.
Wow. So this was a pretty severe head injury.
Yeah, the first one was a pretty severe head injury. But as I was recovering from that one, 6 months later, I got a second concussion. So I wasn't even completely healed from the first one, and I got a second one in the exact same spot.
Oh my goodness.
Which was not, my neurologist was like,
what are the freaking odds, right?
Yeah, he's like, another one, you're gonna be a goner, girl. No, so then after that, then that's when my headaches really started to kick in bad.
Okay, understandable. And I'm sure there's so many women watching right now who can really resonate with this. So if you are someone who has had a head injury, whether it be from getting hit or whether it be from a car accident, which is one that I hear quite often, let us know in chat right now, in comments that is you, because I'm sure you could definitely resonate with this story. We got a bunch of people popping on. Hey, Jennifer and Kelly and Sarah and Camille. Thanks everybody for popping on tonight to listen to Cathryn's story. Okay, so you had these two concussions. The second one obviously starts triggering head pain more. So what did you do? What were you and your doctors trying to work on to help with that pain?
Well, then I ended up, they hospitalized me and gave me, I don't know, overnight. I had a lot of infusions, things like that, trying to help with that. Started me on all the different kind of medications. I went through all the gamut of tried everything for for all the medications, and nothing ever, seemed to work. And well, let's try this one. Well, let's try this one. And then it just finally got to where my neurologist was like, this just might be what you're going to be living with. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
this is not going to be what I'm living with. And she's just like, you have to learn how to find out when they're coming, and try to avoid going places. And I said, what? Well, you're just gonna have to try to avoid doing things. Like,
doesn't sound like that's how you and Kevin live. Is avoiding. Is that how your life is, Kevin? Do you guys avoid doing things?
No.
So pretty much I was still working full time. So that's all I could do, was work and come home and go to bed.
That's all you had energy for.
And our social life was nothing. And eventually I had to quit work because it was too much. I could not do it. The headaches, I would cry because it hurt so much at work. I taught, and it was during COVID times, and teachers during COVID time was such a chaotic mess anyway. And to have migraines on top of all that, it was just too much. So I eventually had to quit. I didn't have to quit. And
so many people resonate with that. I can't even tell you the amount of women that I talk to on a weekly basis that have had to leave their job or cut back on their job or get a totally different job because of their head pain, because the medications that their doctors gave them weren't working. They weren't able to find the things that they needed to be able to reduce the pain. So I totally get that. So
we ended up actually selling our house, moving to Orlando, kind of because of all this, totally trying to change our life because of my headaches. So it was major.
Wow. Yeah, I would definitely say so. And obviously, I joked a minute ago that you guys, like to keep moving, but it's truthful. You really enjoy a life where you can do a lot of things and travel and go to Disney. How was that impacted when you were at the worst of these migraines?
This poor guy, he had to deal with not having a wife. I was not a wife to him.
Yeah, the pain kind of took over.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And Kevin, how did that feel, watching your wife be in so much pain and not be able to do anything with her?
Yeah, not good. It was painful for me to watch, what was going on with her, and painful to know there's nothing I could do to stop it, to make her life better. But it was hard.
Yeah, that is a rough feeling, so you try all these things, Cathryn, and then fast forward, you stumbled across the Women's Migraine Freedom Group, our group that everyone is watching this in right now. And we were joking before we jumped on this call that you kind of stalked me for a while. You were hanging out in the group for about a year. What made you hang out in the group for a year? What was keeping you in there and wanting to kind of watch what was going on?
Well, like I said, that my doctor had said, you kind of just have to live with this. And so I was watching a lot of interviews of women that said, this was the key. This was the thing that, got me out of my migraines. And I thought, really, is this the miracle? Is this what's really going to help me? Can this be really what it is? And I thought, is it really too good to be true? And I actually, to be honest, kind of didn't even tell him about it because I was kind of afraid about the price tag and him saying, honey, if it costs that much, really, it's not a doctor. What if the doctor can't fix you? How is that gonna how you think something like that's going to really work? And so if the doctor's saying you're going to have to live with it. So, but I finally got him to actually come on the call. And he's like, if you want to do this, if you are on board with this and want to give it a try, let's try it.
And I can tell you when she told me about it, you talk about the pain and you can't change it. I'm a master skeptic. I don't believe in too many things. And, when she was telling me about it, I have to admit my skepticism was pretty high.
Mhm.
And then we did the interview. We spoke with you on the video, and you talked about the program and you talked about the price. And sometimes it just comes about hope.
Mhm.
And that's all that was. It was just hope for her. And I was willing to try anything to allow it to help her get to where she needed to be. And so I put my skepticism aside and said, okay, wrote the check. And one of the smartest decisions I've ever made. And I say that without any doubt. I am so glad that she was brave enough to ask me about it. And I'm so glad that we were brave enough to do the call and brave enough to write the check. And I'd write a check for 3 times that amount to get what I got.
Oh, that's just so amazing. It really is amazing because I get it. I 100% get the skepticism, and I can imagine that every single person that's on here right now probably feels the same way. All of the women that are in this group suffering with migraines are probably still thinking, all right, so this works for Cathryn, but how could it possibly work for me? Right? How could it possibly work for me? But as you said, Kevin, sometimes it just does boil down to having a little bit of hope, which is so hard to have when your doctor isn't able to help you.
Yeah. And even some of the things in the early days that she was trying once she got in the program, I have to admit, I was still like, really? But, sometimes you just have to, I like to say, let go and let God. And I just had to let go and let the program work. And let her work the program and keep my mouth shut.
Did he let you work the program and keep his mouth shut?
Yeah. He kind of like jabbed me even now. He still jabs me even now.
To make sure that you're following certain things in the program and you keep doing them. Which is it's amazing, right? You're in this together, because as we talk about all the time, it's not just the person that has migraines that is living with this. It's everybody. As you said, Cathryn, for a while you felt like your husband didn't have his wife, and he was missing out on that. And so your migraines impact the whole household. So to be able to work on them together and ensure that you stay healthy together is a beautiful gift for both of you. A beautiful gift. Rhonda's saying she loves to hear the support from your family. Isn't that amazing? Jennifer says, so great. Hey, Jessica. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Barbara Lee. Get to see Barbara Lee twice today and Jennifer twice. It's good to see everybody. If you have any questions for Kevin and Cathryn, make sure you pop them in chat for me as we go along here. It's so good to see everybody here. So, all right. So despite the concussions, despite, the doctor not being able to help and basically telling you had to live with it, you decide to join the Freedom from Migraine method. How do you feel now in comparison to when you started?
Great. Oh, I added on, I had hip surgery done in October. So, so after that, I'm like a new person. I feel like I could conquer the world. I mean, like we said, we like to go to Disney, and we go on cruises, and I can even ride rides at Disney. I would have never dreamed I could ever ride a ride again, with headaches. So
yeah, and you guys go to Disney a couple times a month, right? You have season passes. You live right in Florida. Kevin joked if he didn't go twice a month, he feels like he's missing something. So that's a lot of a very I love Disney, but it's a very stimulating place,
Very.
right? Very noisy, lots of people. Many times I'm sure you're out in the heat, with the bright sunlight and rides, as you mentioned. That can be a lot for anyone, but for someone that had a head injury and migraines, that can be a ton. And you're
Mhm.
saying now that you're back to going to Disney a couple times a month and loving it and having no issues.
Well, she has no issues as long as she keeps working the program.
Right.
If she doesn't-
Absolutely.
if she falters on what she needs to do, I can see it coming back on her a little bit, but
Yep,
it's really about the program.
absolutely. And the changes that you make in the program, a lot of them are lifestyle shifts, right? We can take for an example, because this is an example that will work for everyone. If you are someone who eats processed food all day long, switching to a whole foods diet is only going to make you healthier, right? And only going to reduce inflammation in the body, which is what we're all working on to get to migraine freedom, is to reduce inflammation, right? So obviously, if processed food starts sneaking back in, then our inflammation is going to raise again, and that's just one example. There are 6 key areas of inflammation that we work on in our Freedom from Migraine protocol. But that's one example that I can see sneaking in, especially when you vacation a lot on cruises and at Disney, to keep an eye on that. So it is great to know that those tools will always be there for you and that you can always use them to get yourself back on track, because we all make choices, right? We all hit sometimes where we're like, nope, I want that glass of wine. I'm going to stay up late. I'm going to eat that piece of cake. And I might pay for the consequences tomorrow, but I know exactly what I did, right? And that's okay, because that's still migraine freedom, because you know exactly what you did to bring yourself over the threshold. Now, it wouldn't be okay if you get a migraine and you don't know why. That's when we've got to go back and dive in to see what's going on. So I love it. I love it. Hey, Erin and Daniela. So good to see everybody on tonight. So, all right. So you guys are on vacation. So I don't want to keep you. I want you to be able to enjoy every moment of your life that you have migraine free. So if you had to say something, both, if you don't mind both of you answering this, if you had to say something to the women and the spouses that may be watching this, if you had to give them a piece of advice, what would you want to say to these women that are still suffering, that just don't have hope right now? Should we let Cathryn go first?
Yes.
Think of yourself, and just know that you'll have support in the program. There'll be lots of people to help you work it. You won't be alone. And it's worth it. It's worth thinking of yourself and getting better and living a life again, and not having to be in pain all the time.
Yeah, I love it. How about you, Kevin? What would you say to those spouses out there that were skeptical, that were like, seriously, this woman's on Facebook, can she really help my wife when a doctor can't? What would you say to them?
I would say, yeah, I hear you. And I had those same thoughts, but you want your spouse to be healthy, and this might just be the road, and it's certainly for my wife, the neurologist way wasn't the road.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to give it a try. And like I said in the beginning, I had to write the check for 3 times what we paid for her to get it. And it's not just her that's going through it. You're going through it too. I mean, you are. It's hard. It's hard to watch someone you love and care for be in the pain that she was in. And you have to help her work that program. It can't just be her. You got to be there to encourage her. You got to hold her hand. You got to be part of the conversation and help her over those hurdles that she may not want to go over by herself. That's what it's about.
I love it. I love it. And you know what? when you have that family support, we have a group that obviously our clients are in when they work with us, the Freedom from Migraine Method Facebook group, where you get support, but being able to have that support at home, that really just knocks it up a level of knowing that you're really going to be successful, right? When you have that support of your spouse and your family and you're doing it together, that just makes it so that this can be a lifestyle shift and one that you can both live with happily so that you get that migraine freedom. Oh, this was absolutely wonderful. So thank you again so much, both of you, for being here, for sharing your story. We really appreciate it. We love the fact that you're on vacation. I'm a little jealous. I'm in New
We can
York
show you
right
the
now.
beach.
No, I don't think I want to see the beach because I'm in New York right now and it's cold and it's like drizzly outside and we're supposed to get another ice storm on Friday.
no.
So how about you do this? Enjoy Florida for me. Enjoy every minute of it. Enjoy every minute of your lives. And thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Absolutely.
Thanks for everything.
And thank you everyone for showing up today for our migraine strategy call for our special time. We will be back to our normal time next week on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I am going to be doing a training all about the connection of anxiety and migraines. So if you are someone that suffers with anxiety, if you are someone, whether you're on medication or not, somebody that this is something that you are dealing with on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and you really are looking for support to figure out how can I stop this anxiety and how can I end my migraines at the same time, make sure you do not miss this training. This is one I have been working on all week, and I promise you're going to get some great value out of this. All right, everybody, have an amazing evening. Here's to your migraine freedom, and thanks for being here. Take care, everybody.